Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Let's try this one tonight. Oh yeah. Let's go to work. For everybody's sake. I'll turn on the lights. Alright, I'll do that here. Yeah. No. Studio. Don't like it. There it is. There we go, guys. We'll practice tilt. Ugh. Okay, minutes to go. Which means I gotta go calm my nerves, either doing dishes or washing my hands, taking a pee, and making a tea. Let me just check that the H recorder, good. Wicked. Join me, won't you? 5 minutes, 5:55, wow. Okay. Hey guys, I'm definitely going to have to get my own theme song made for the beginning here. Let me just tilt up, show you what's going on today in the studio. Okay, we're going to have some picture-in-picture, which is cool. I'm going to paint this Ryan thing. This Ryan, I had to go back to Ryan, guys. My good friend Jeff took some pictures. We hired a model. And so there will be new photos available from which to draw. But this is from an old collection. And there are no things showing on it that YouTube can dislike, like little peepees and things like that. And so I think it's a good thing to draw, kind of going back to our roots. And I also want to mention that Keith Springall here, I just read Facebook. I'm not going on social media a lot. But he wants me to do a Lydecker study. And you know what? I've never, ever done Lydecker. I think it would be good for gouache. Oh, I think if he's out there, I know what he's up to. He's trying to make it hard on me. So next week I'll do some research and we'll do a Lydecker study. Today I'm just going to draw a newsprint and we'll look at some of the homework I did this week because trying a new approach, it's still very uncomfortable using this Riley rhythms. But who knows? Making mistakes is how you learn. Coffee. Let's get the show on the road. Thanks for coming. Yes, I need an intro. Someone get me a composer. A few moments of boredom. Oh, and I got to turn off. There's a focus ring on here. Forgot to turn that bit off. Yeah. I've been drawing 3 hours every night. I'm getting back into my practice. So this is good. Okay. And Ophelia, you're out there. Check this out, guys. This is very exciting for me. Oh my God, wait a minute. What do I do? I can turn our source on and off in the picture. So this is what we'll be drawing today. And can you believe it? That was actually so easy to figure out. So I'll move over to the right, or my camera to the left. And this should all work wonderfully. So if you're looking at the screen, oh my God. Does that mean I'm on that big screen, Ophelia, at your house? You watch this huge, you guys? Okay, there we go. I like it. We'll see how this goes. Before we get going, I want to just read something. So you can also take a screenshot. You've got Ryan on the picture now. I read this book every day called 365 Tao. And it's from the Tao Te Ching. Maybe you guys don't know, but I grew up trying every religion. And the thing in my youth that really captured me was Taoism. And that got me into all sorts of martial arts and stuff. But today's meditation I thought was interesting because it speaks to me as what I consider artists spiritual beings. We're making some sort of magic. And the daily practice of not being good one day and getting better, and just this like long road to mastery. You can refer back. I think I talk a lot about the book Mastery by Leonard. So let me just read this one. It's called Ascent. Maybe I can get it close to the screen. Okay. And of course, because it's got the kanji and a little poem in it, I'll have to read that a little different. Chill morning, stone steps. The path to the temple is steep. We may stumble at times, but we must always get up again. That's the poem bit. So, like art, spiritual cultivation is a daily activity. No matter how much we achieve in one day, we must continue the next. Progress is often so subtle that we may feel the effort is futile, and it is hard to get up each morning and try again with the same enthusiasm. Yet, this is precisely what we must do. If we have the benefit of guidance, talent, and the proper circumstances, then the bulk of our attention has to be paid to such a simple day-to-day effort. No person ever leapt to heaven in one bound. Spirituality is achieved by steady climbing, like a difficult journey to a mountain temple. The number of steps is in the thousands. The way is steep. It takes a long time to get there, and we must content ourselves with the panoramas along the way and think that the view at the summit will be best of all. If we fall, we must pick ourselves up and get back on the trail again. Success in spiritual life is measured not by the spectacular events, but by daily devotion. This deep sincerity maintains our ascent. Okay, yes, I'm bringing that into it. I just think, I did a few drawings and posted them, and I'll show them. They're not all that great, and it made me think about how I still showed up. Look at the misery in this face. That's what I was feeling. And I feel like if you're out there, Greg, if you're out there, you know who I feel like this looks like my roommate's ex-girlfriend, maybe. Okay. So the focus of these was really, I'll take the Ryan off. He might be distracting right now. Okay. Anyways, Den Ming Dao, Daily Meditations. I keep it on my dresser and I read it every morning. Food for thought. You can see the Riley rhythms in this. Lots of standing figures. Last week I had issues with the back And it's funny because in the whole 5-week course, so basically I audited this course from Brian Knox at Watts Atelier, and it was like 1 hour, 20-minute classes where you kind of draw along. And, you know, watching someone else draw like you're doing here, you learn a lot. This system is very different. I spent a little more time softening edges on this one, and we'll do a drawing to a further level of this. I want to, okay, so that's the homework anyways. I find now that I'm doing this Riley thing that all my legs look too thin. So I'm going to do the methodology that Brian Knox does. This Brian, Bunny Brian, has a similar way of working, so it's a good fit. So I'm going to put up Ryan now. I like the progress. There's nothing happening. And maybe take off some dangly bits. Okay. Let's put the Ryan back up. I could have been doing this for years. And thank you for convincing me to do 5 whole minutes of figuring it out. It was so easy to do. I got to get better at using open broadcasting system. I sharpened a bunch of pencils earlier as well. 2B and a 4B Wolf's Carbon, and for the main drawing, and then for the shading, the core shadow, I'll use the Pierre Noir Carante 1710B. Those are the Rolls Royce and the Cadillac of the drawing world. Okay, and touch your paper before you begin. So we start with the daily meditations and how spirituality and art, I think, coincide. And I'll drink this Coca-Cola Zero. It's been a long couple days, and I need my caffeine to get going. We want to determine the top of our drawing. So this will be where Ryan's head is. I like to give myself just over an inch. Presumably, I mean, this is newsprint, so this will yellow and be garbage by the end of the day because I'm just practicing. But if you do it on a nicer piece of paper, make sure you have enough room that no object touches the side and the bottom. And you see that I actually am turning my hand upside down. Now this is something I learned from Brian Knox's class. He's a lefty, so everything looks so weird that he was drawing. And we want to figure out where is the middle. So let me guess. Now I know it's down here, but let me put it in the wrong place. And to measure that, take your pencil and your finger and then check it. You see? Not the same distance. Now, same. Now, same. Because, you know, when you're sitting at a diagonal, I'm at an angle to my board. There's distortion happening. I mean, you could get a ruler if you wanted. Okay, with this picture of Ryan, it's too bad I can't like draw post haste. I should have put a center line on this for you guys. All right, next time. Yes, get very touchy. Oh, I love it. You guys, Perry's here. That's great. Maybe you'll come home this weekend and we'll go down the river. Okay. So, you guys can look up on your screen, and I'll just describe where my center line is going. So if I drop a plumb line from Ryan's eye to his nose, it would drop straight down to his shoulder. It would touch his ipple-nay. It would drop down, you know, to where his fingers kind of cross. So his torso will be on this side. There'll be, this quadrant will have nothing, and his legs and the chair. Okay? So that's kind of, we need to figure out where we are. Okay? I mean, this is very similar to how I start. The next thing is take a head measurement and find out how many head measures down to the center. For me, because he's sitting, the center will be, I'll move it off to the side. I'm not sure if this is the right place, but I need a marker to tell me where things are going. I'm going to use his belly button So if I measure from the top of his head to his belly button, just using my pencil, that equals his belly button to his foot. You may find a different type of measurement, but that's the one I'm going to use. So I'm going to measure his head, and I'm going to see how many head measures to his belly button. I'm going to guess 3, and I'm pretty much there. So I'm going to split this center line into 3, and I'll just check it. Okay? And his head is to the right of the center line. I'm just going to measure again, because it's better to measure twice, cut once. Well, why did I say I was going to guess 3? Actually, because I was just using my memory of the rules. Top of head to chin, chin to nipple, nipple to belly button. It may or may not be that, but I get 3 down to the center. So let's put his head in. And remember, the head is as long as it is wide. So it could be a square. And we'll just do very simplified. Hopefully you guys can see this line. I'm not using, it's a 2B, so figure out where the brow is. Maybe for this head, I will show you guys the technique I teach in my portrait class. It uses the Asaro kind of planes. But we'll go back to that. First, let's get this body in. So, now I have to use the Riley rhythms. And you go neck, and all you can use is C curves here, S curves, and straights. We get the neck, and we can kind of show that it's round like this. I look at the negative space right in here to see if that shape looks correct. Okay, I'll try to draw a little bit darker. The trap. Trap. If I run a plumb line, I get his achromium process. So I'll draw that quite angular. We'll take it down later. Here, his achromium process is about here. Shoulder. Where's his neck pit? You can quite clearly see his neck pit. I guess it depends how blown up your image is. If you're on a phone, probably not so much. I may have made his neck a little long, but we'll go with that for now. Because at this stage, we're just constructing it. Okay. And you can go from the ear down for the sternocleidomastoid, if you want, here as well. Okay. So the arm is circling this way, so we want to show some depth of curvature, and that's where we get to our pectoral muscle, which will be there. And we'll get the shoulder on this side. Now I can start putting in. So they in the class I took, they kind of just like, you build that top, and in fact, like I feel like normally the Riley rhythm would probably go from the achromium process down, but in the class they were saying to draw across the arm to the pec. So now we need to find where the groin is. Now we can't see it, but I've got enough sense to know it's one head down from the belly button. Right, we're just using Loomis. Okay, and the rhythms are like a C curve from the pec. That gives you like a roundness to the body. So we have to imagine this is here in this particular pose. Aha. I hope this works out. We'll see what I knows. And then you go from the neck to the hips. So if I use a plumb line from the shoulder, the acromion process, straight down, that's about where the hip is. So I can go like this, and the other side of the hip would be over there. So you get this kind of like hourglass shape. So let's draw these hips in. We can see the front and lower part of the rectus abdominis, and you can kind of imagine what diagonal that's at. So the hips are a box shape that's slightly tilted. See if I can approximate it. Right, the box would be something like this. Now, Riley didn't have boxes, as far as I know. But this is how the class went, so that's what we're going to do. Then, the ribs. We can see the ribs under where the nipple will be. Oh God, I was supposed to not say that word. Oops. Ipelne. And the back would be here. And it should end at the belly button. I'm going to be erasing all this. Often when I'm teaching, I go head, chest, which I mean the rib cage, and hips. Sort of the same result. The other thing is you can connect. Pecs are good there. Okay, so now we got to get that foot. One thing that really stood out to me that I hadn't thought before, I guess Jeffrey Watts says, get to the ground as quickly as possible. So we want to get that foot and leg in. So this corner of the box, which would fall behind his wrist, would be your ACES point. And so from there is where the leg sits, right? Like here would be the trochanter, right? And the leg attaches on. So we're going to go and we're just make a gestural line of that angle. And don't worry if you draw it too far, you know? And the foot winds up somewhere down here. The foot is the same length as the head, and but directly below the knee, if I drop a plumb, is where the heel winds up. So I could take the head measure, and that's where the toes wind up. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. Okay. The other leg comes out at this angle. Got the knee, the patella, tibia tuberosity, and it scoops back. Let's put this chair in as well. Now it looks pretty much straight on. He is up on the model stand in this picture, so it's probably actually horizontal. Usually there's nothing in the picture that is, but. And we can get this leg to go out. And he said continue it through so that you get this distance, and that distance is equal to the lower leg. Which me, with my issues with doing feet the right size, or doing legs the right size, although I think they're looking a little skinny. We'll see if this technique helps. Okay. Same as this one. We can see a little negative triangle shape in there. And this foot. Feels good to be drawing. Trying to get into my daily practice again. I used to draw 2.5 to 3 hours every single day, but when the Atelier closed, Bunny got a little lazy. So I'm doing it at night after all my work and my shifts. And that goes back to what I was reading about in this book, you know, that sometimes if we look at the whole thing, it's daunting. Like how, you know, it's the baby steps that matter. Just keep taking them every day. I think that's where the wrist will be. And the back arm, using the negative space here. Any way you draw, there's still so much guesswork. You know, you don't exactly put things in the right place. So I guess any system you use, like this one feels awkward to me because I'm not used to what the relationships are. Okay, there it is. And for the sake of argument, we'll show how cylindrical, so like the leg is coming this way, this way, this way, because that's what's really important on the form. Okay, this arm is kind of pointed towards us, so you can already see this drawing looks less like Brian Batista's and more like Brian Knox's. Oh yeah, I forgot the center line. So maybe this belly button does move back. Then we go top down again. So here, let me just give, might have to zoom out a little bit. Give you guys just a view. So there it is, boxed in. I don't know how long that took, 15, 20 minutes. The lay-in without the shadows, using Riley's rhythms. You can pin the rhythms across horizontally, like across the chest. You're just looking for, you can make the pecs connect. You can do by the serratus across the arch. You know, you'll see these rhythms depending on the pose, right? I just want to take a measure. I think I put my leg out too far. But that's essentially what 5 classes taught me, and it seemed to have worked. So let's go top down again and go through the motions, each time getting more detailed. So I guess this pass will draw some more shapes and contours, and then in the next we'll put in the shadows. At least that's what I would recommend. I think my plan, I have a picture of just in the lower right corner to remind me what Sabin Howard's rendering looks like, because I might do that. Now, I just got to turn the lights back on in the studio. They went down. It's that time of night. And maybe I'll try to get this a little further up so that you can see everything I'm drawing. See how that works. Okay. There we go. Oh, that's kind of neat on the screen, because you know when I do that comparison thing at the end, like I can kind of check the head size. Okay, well I don't have it all worked out. Okay, so for the head we have the cranial mass, and the brow line travels at a slight angle down because the face is going away in perspective, and on a micro level the chin is going up, right? Like we have that perspective going down. I add the hair on top of that shape, and from the corner of the temple I like to go back to where the ear is. And you can see I already put like a face line there. That's just to create a simplified mask. But you can also see that I have kind of a center line already started. Maybe I'll zoom in too, because the face is a good area to focus on. Okay, I might be at a weird angle, guys, but let's do this. Some of you are here to learn, so that's what we'll do. Others are just listening. Wait, do I have to set the focus or what? Focus ring. Maybe I hit the button. Sorry. I'm just really far over my head today. Wait, do I hit this? No, I don't hit that. All right, that's better. Okay. So I like to find out where the nose is. So we've got our thirds. Hairline to brow, brow to nose, nose to chin, but also the nose is somewhere halfway behind, and in terms of a plum, it's in front. So I can just figure out the halfway point there, and that gives me the nose for Ryan. And also, using angles, I'll just scoop it up. The angle doesn't go directly to the brow, because the glabella is right there. And I like to draw the nose as a whole shape, like I would maybe a dog's nose or something. Often that's a shadow below. I might as well put his nostril in while we're here. Right now though, mostly placement. From the nose to the chin, halfway is the bottom of the lower lip. And there's thirds measurement. From the bottom of the nose to the mouth opening is 1/3. The top lip is 1/3, the bottom lip is 2/3. So these are our thirds measurements. Whoops. Sorry, I shouldn't have toned that in. We'll just do the whole lip dark. From the brow through the nostril, side of the mouth. And then there's this extra third, which is the chin fold. Chin fold to the bottom of the chin. Ryan has a nice pronounced, I think he has a face that looks very Roman. I'll bring his chin more forward. When I do my Halloween shopping, I bought a bunch of Roman Legionnaire outfits because I thought Ryan would look really good in them. So shoot that back. Now his jaw's in shadow, but 3 turns of the jaw. The chin, across, an angle up, and then the mandible. The ear travels at this diagonal from the nose. They're in alignment, and it's in that last quadrant. So, I mean, this isn't the, I'm just doing whatever order I feel like right now, really. This isn't necessarily the order you have to do it in. So the eyebrow often starts below the brow line. Depends how you're seeing it. Some girls draw theirs way above. And we'll get his brow in there. There's also from the ear to the side of the mouth. I like to put that plane in. If I had the Asaro head right here, you'd see what I mean. And we'll put in his hairline. And the eye is halfway. Halfway through the whole head. And in this case, if I go from the side of the mouth or sometimes the nostril straight up, that's where the tear duct will be. And you know, you don't want to do too much detail here at the start, but just get it placed. The shading's going to do the work, really. Okay. In general, that's the head, and we'll throw some hair on top. It's all going to be in shadow, so. Geez, trying not to draw the shadow this early is a little bit hard. Anyways, there's a face. Maybe we'll put in a little of the ear shapes. Helix, antihelix, tragus, you know, all those bits. His ear comes in at quite a steep angle too. So a lot of this stuff is meant for this pencil. So we'll leave it like that. We can see the thickness of the sternocleidomastoid. Now let's start getting some of the shapes here. Cervical vertebrae. Trap. scapula. We can see his, I'll just draw a little more, his deltoid wrapping around kind of the spade shape. Maybe it's a little longer. There we go. Keep it clean in between, so clean up as you go a little bit. The collarbone we can kind of draw in a little bit more. It connects up to the acromion process. Kind of just floats there. There's like these two little discs that make up the shoulder girdle that can slide back and forth. Oh, I gotta pull the camera out. Sorry. Maybe I should look at the chat box in case I'm missing something. Nope, he's still there. Okay. Let's get this camera set back up where it should be. What did I do? That's better. Okay. All right, we're moving on down. Whoop. Hey, this is working pretty good. All right. So we see the little ball of the collarbone going up and across. Trapezius. Deltoid. Now, this chest shape and pecs are what we're going to want to get in here next. So you can draw the pecs as a connective line. There's a rhythm there. So I'll remove the chest here a little bit. And one head down is where, on a man, the épaules go, pretty much. Sternum, the manubrium up here, we can kind of draw that in for now. Then this is his ribs going down. There's an undulation here, two actually, because we're seeing the side as the muscles turn on the rectus abdominis, the abdominal muscles. So we don't want to just draw a straight line. And it tucks in along with that rib cage coming down. So it's rounded here. To reflect the muscle forms turning. And then it kind of shoots down. We can't actually see past there. I'll throw his belly button in while we're here. Okay. What next? Let's go for the triceps here. Tricep brachii. There's kind of a flat area. And then it goes down to the olecranon. Little contours going here. Across from, let's see, his elbow is higher than the belly button, which we have here. I think it needs to go up a little bit higher. That's my problem. I'm going to just take a measure just to be sure. Yeah, it's pretty good there. the olecranon can go straight down to the ulna, and then there's that fleshy part that you can put underneath. That's muscles hanging. I'm gonna look. There's a shadow of that process of the ulna, and it's directly below the ear. So if I dropped a plum, I can see it. I'm just gonna make this part of the arm a little bit longer. Just measure, check, good. These should be equal distances from landmark to landmark. So, what about the thickness of the arm? Well, we have our rhythm right here. So there's that fold there, and then the bicep. Forearm. Looking pretty good. These construction lines, I drew them darker than I would have just so you guys can see them. I would even suggest that the shoulder's coming out a little far. Let's get the shoulder muscles in. Gotta tame this wild beast. Bicep. Zoom out a little more. Try to get straighter. I can't wait to do the shadow work here. Below his jawline, if I drop a plum, the Atelier are pretty much horizontal. So if I take a head length, move it down, there we go. And the belly button should be one more down from there. There we go. Okay, we're looking good. The from the Atelier straight down the front, we can also draw a line that can represent the rectus abdominis if we need, and that will help us find where those shadows are. And the fold here. That would be the chest, turning that form. We'll get the serratus, and this is why I really like drawing Ryan, is the leanness and seeing all these muscles, the obliques. Anyways, that's shadow work. We can assume the back is here even though it's in the dark. Okay. Let's place him on this chair. There's a little bit of compression here. That's where our trochanter would be. Squishing the chair a little bit. Tendon coming down. And also, I mean, you can't see it, but there would be a drop here in the hamstring that would sit under the tendon that goes across. To the epicondyle there. But, okay, so good. Next. I mean, this is pretty. effective just going through each bit. Forearm. So just below the belly button, so we're using plumbs and levels here, is where I see the actual landmark, and it's in alignment with this knee. So I think my leg is too far out, honestly. I'm gonna use a diagonal line to see. I think we're okay. But there's the thumb sits on the other side of the patella here. Let's see if we can get this patella in. So actually, you have to draw it smaller than you think. There's a part underneath it that's a tibial tuberosity. So I often draw it as two things. But that will help us find where this leg is. And the quads on top bulge the leg up a little bit, like that. We might as well draw the kneecap more angular than it is. It seems to bony bits, elbows and stuff. In terms of drawing, they do look a little bit better with a harder edge. So I think that my leg actually needs to come in a little bit. And this one, kind of comes up like that, flattens out at the knee. It's like I have too much distance here, actually. There we go. Fun stuff. I have been drawing much quicker drawings lately, so I don't know if this is going to be a long pose or what. Next week when we do the Leyedecker, I'll try to find drawings unless Keith's pressuring me to paint. That might be the best thing to learn from him. It's the application of color. And then, oh yes, so the tendon goes there, and the gastrocnemius, the calf, comes out like that. We can put the end of this bone, malleolus, ankle, and then the back of the ankle, or the calcaneus, or where the Achilles tendon is, kind of shoots back there. We can't really see the other side here. Okay, this I feel like this knee can go out a little further, actually. Just judging off how things are looking. Probably go to about there. There we go. I guess too, I normally I scratch a lot more lines, but this is allowing me to be more accurate from the onset. These rhythms. and my learning of them is just preliminary. I think doing hundreds of these are what's necessary. So I'm using, I thought of using this live stream to work on a painting today, but not possible. I don't think the setup would work, and it wasn't a figurative painting. So we're not doing it. Get more of that shoe shape in there. And the chair legs. What? I think this leg needs to move back. Seems a lot closer to my center line. Going with that. All right. So if I drop a plum from about his eye in alignment with this heel, is where one of the chair legs is. And then slightly above this heel, and to the right, is another chair leg in a line here. The other leg, horizontal bars, whatever. We're not worrying about that. Okay. Let me finish getting this arm and this hand in, and then we move on to shading. And hopefully you guys can see it better too once I start getting some darks on here. Growing up, one of the sayings I grew up with was, first you get good, then you get fast. I think a lot of people, they want to rush through things. But I will say, oh yeah, let's draw an arc for the hand, that I feel like I'm getting quicker. When I first started at the Atelier life drawing 4 years ago, I mean, it would take the full 3 hours. You know, I barely get to this point. Okay, the hand might be a little massive, but it's not going to matter with shading to fix it. Maybe we'll take a little break here to switch gears and tools, and we can analyze. I don't know. Oh, there. Let's get this back in the screen here. right, turns out I did learn a lot. Okay, well, it's been an hour since I started, nearly. So I want to take a little breather, little break, drink my ice cold coffee, maybe heat it up. You guys do the same. And in the next pass, we will drop in the shadows and maybe talk about more of the muscles and stuff that we're seeing here. Plus, I get to use my awesome countdowns that I made. So, 7 minutes, kids. Oh wait, I gotta take him off. Back. Coffee's hot. And now I sat back finally and looked, and I need to make his head a little bit wider at the back, and I made his shoulders a little too broad, which then made the knees a little far out. He's a little bit more slender than I drew him, I think. But yeah, maybe this knee goes in. I'm still not sure about this knee. But we're gonna just see if shading can fake our way through it. Because it's just practice drawing. It's not about perfection. I feel like that system worked really well though. So now I'm switching over to Pierre Noir Conte 1710B. And let's just go down, top down, and follow that bedbug line and just darken our shadow areas. Some hair. Make sure it's nice and sharp. You'll be happy you did. This is, I might move, this is vein right here. I'm gonna move his hairline back a little bit, which will affect this eyebrow. Maybe the eye placement a little bit. A little bit softer up here. There are areas along the nose that it gets a little bit harder. Down the side, the nostril. Light hitting there. feel like I'm incidentally making this look more like me. It happens. Just gonna move the camera so high up over my head right now. There we go. That's better. And we can enjoy the sounds of the birds and the ASMR. I'm turning it, keeping my pencil really sharp. Just a little note on what's going on down here, in case you're wondering. It's not just simple scrubbing. I like to take every opportunity I can to sharpen these things as I go. Because even though I use the sandpaper, I'm a lazy sharpener. Okay, this is where things get a little bit more interesting. So we could slightly show that vein, but the light is coming from this side, and so we have a turning of the form. The maxilla. Soften the bridge of the nose and the tip a little bit. Then there's this cheekbone that's very prominent. And the jaw, the mandible. I have to extend his chin down a little bit lower. It's not quite thirds with Ryan. His chin is more pronounced. So let's add a little bit more. So I was using the rules before. Now I have to use a little break. We're also below him, so the thirds get slightly smaller as they go up. So let's compensate for that. The shadow is soft here. It goes up and comes around. The dark spot inside his mouth. Below the chin fold, a little bit of a bum chin shape. I use my finger to soften all that. There's a little reflected light there, so I can just draw a line, a darker line that will give the impression that it's lighter beside. We might still even have to darken this quite a bit. We'll see. We will see how it looks as we go. So where the sternocleidomastoid, well, get this ear shape in while I'm here. It catches the light quite a bit. So the cast shadow drops just on the other side of this side of the neck, which is the sternocleidomastoid, across where his Adam's apple is. And it's a cast shadow, so I'm using a harder edge. It travels down the roundness of the esophagus and then up. So I'll accentuate a little more, up the sternocleidomastoid and around. And then where that sternocleidomastoid is, it's actually a soft shadow. Down, down, down. Softens out. Should be a little bit more under the ear. I've got a little far forward. So don't forget to squint your eyes. So we'll tone everything and then we'll go back through it and use crosshatch in the same way to over describe, like Michelangelo or Sabin. Goes up the trap, around the back. And it's got slight reflected light on the back of the trap. There we go. And keep it clean. I'm getting dirty, so gotta remind myself. Okay. Well, a thank you for that compliment. Okay. Anyways, my hand has gotten steadier over time, especially in painting, but also one of the things about keeping your hand steady is not floating the hand above the surface. Keep your hand, your finger or your knuckle touching. Because if you don't, you're not stable. But I'm actually touching the paper, which is why it gets dirty. So my moves are smaller as well these days. Okay. I want to try to finish this. Yeah, I put his shoulder way too out. So my version is a little bit too wide. I know that's now, but we'll just pretend. The model's not going to mind having more muscles, right? So the achromium process. Okay. Goes across the deltoid. So just remember that shadows describe forms. And I had drawn the deltoid in there before. I need to follow that pattern. The deltoid is a multi-pennant muscle, so it's got these striations in it, which we can kind of see. And because we're doing like Sabin type of rendering, we'll have to exaggerate that a little bit. There's some bounce light on the back of the arm too. Shiboinga. There's a little muscle on the side here we can accentuate. And go down here. So I didn't used to rub my finger. Watch any past episode and you'll know. But I've always struggled with having soft enough edges. Oh man, okay, this is where things are gonna get funky. Okay, I'm just following this down right now. And one of the things that's interesting is the forearm bits. So we see a shadow of the brachioradialis turning over the form. So this one goes right over, that's like that big bulge of the forearm. Yo. And then below that is the extensor carpi radialis something rather, I don't know. I can't remember all the names. And then the digitorum longus, or, you know, just look for them and be aware of them. You don't have to name them. We're not doctors here. And then it travels down. There's all sorts of neat stuff that goes on here, but it's all toned. And before we get too crazy into these details, I want to work this area, right? Because my hands might drag over it. So if I squint my eyes, I can see a tone going across. Oh, there's my eraser. I didn't quite put my collarbone in the right place. And just think, the body is not white, so don't worry about putting tone on there, because chances are, I mean, if you needed to remove it, you could, but chances are you need more than you have. Like, we're gonna have one more pass with crosshatch. But first we got to build those shadow shapes, because we need references in which to compare. I'm a little sad that I made him too bulky here, because I'm not going back now. In fact, if I measure, I just want to see how far off I am. So normally the length of the head gets to the achromium process. Yeah, I'm out almost a centimeter, pushing those shoulders out. Heroic. That's because I was just reset. I was using Loomis just naturally, but oh well. Across the pec, after the fold, and I want to pull it up this way, right? Because we go dark into light. And if it's soft, it has a direction. Down the pec, and there's actually, the pec is made up of like, there's a sub muscle under here, and that's the one we're kind of following. You'll see that's where it folds. That's where we kind of have a little bend there. And then, I might have gone too far over. There's a slight cast here as it goes over the body, curving the other way. And here's reflected light. So by making the armpit darker, it makes that reflected light look like light, even though it's not. Shade down. The serratus here. There's the cast shadow from the pec, the core shadow traveling down it, a slight casting, then the core shadow traveling down it. And don't lose track of how many you're putting in here. And then a little bit harder edge again. There's an overall diagonal happening here, which kind of mimics the angle of the neck. Now we have the obliques and that roundness of the rib cage, which we can see in the Riley rhythm. It's softer. Kind of points to the belly button. My serratus might got a little wide up here, but and that drops down in alignment with the head. We'll get a little sneaky crosshatch in there. Now in the reference, he's on black, but I think in my drawing I'll just make him float, and so I have to imagine where his lat is and where it goes down. And the bicep has to curl in here a little bit more rounded. So I'll just use the tip right there. Just the tip. Just the tip. which sucks because when you do that, it gets dull quicker. There we go. So that's kind of the shape. It's kind of the shape, folks.
I'm just looking for a paper towel here because
I want to protect my drawing. So the light's coming from here. There should be some shadow shape on this peck. Now we'll intensify it a little bit. And up the sternum. Oh my god, the lights are turning low in here again. What about this shape? Take that joining away. Underneath the collarbone up here, there's like this little pit. This is my favorite part of my body to be massaged, right by the pec. Just press in there. Okay, and off we go. Make it a little bit darker. All right, down the after the sternum, we got to show that center line, so it's very soft, of the abdominal muscles. 1, 2, 3. Often the fold of the abdominal muscle is through the belly button. He's got one slightly above. And remember, we're intensifying things because we want it to kind of describe more like Michelangelo, or if like I sprayed on his muscles. This is what they would look like. Or better yet, like on the internet, those beer belly guys, and they shave their fur. To look like muscles. Here we can go a little darker, since that shadow is quite pronounced. hard edge. There's a vein right here, vein up here, and tone. It's more soft. Edge control. I think after this, I'm going to work on some legs tonight. Don't want to burn out, but also I'm not too excited about going home with the party atmosphere that it has been as of late. Yeah, I elongated this stuff a little too much too. It's like I bulked up the shoulder and I made up for it with the knee here. C'est ça. So I think I can drop his butt as well. I'm just gonna take a measure. I probably should have measured some things. 1, 2, 3. Let's drop his butt to here. And the chair. Things are growing as I get away from the head. Lessons learned, right? We just gotta keep showing up, doing the work. What's the end goal? In my past life, I was made to feel bad for doing what I do. You know, people, there's haters and they judge. But, I mean, if you get this happiness from it, I mean, what can they say? Well, too bad for you for doing what you love and that's your gift to the world. Nope, that doesn't work. On this long journey, you look back and you're gonna wish, I wish I drew that day. That's often how I feel about this live stream night. Some days I'm like, I don't want to do it. Oh God. Not today, but other days. I'd rather go turn on Netflix, which I don't have. Got rid of that pretty fast. Making the hamstring, the other bicep, the bicep femoris, hang low, which will drop the tendon here. I'm gonna widen up the leg a little bit. I made them too wide anyway. Well, actually not with Ryan's leg. Let's go skinnier. Fatter here, skinnier here. Wow, definitely is not a head length. So the side of the patella, it's a little bit firmer. There is an edge to the patella. Goes down nearly to a point. But just keep it interesting, like thick line, thin line, hard edge, soft edge, cast, firm, compression, expansion. That's all I think drawing is a bunch of contrasting elements. Contrast is one of them too. What makes for an interesting, I'm just gonna follow that line that I've already established there. What makes for an interesting still life are these things as well. I think that still life is self-portraiture with objects. Discuss. All right, we'll just drop that in there. We'll use some of the Sabin crosshatch in here later. As you can tell, I don't really have a plan. And if I did, I would be bored with this. I am saving hands till later, though. I never do hands and head at the same time. And often I leave hands or head till the end because the model, presumably that's what we're doing here, right? Still training for when we have a live model. Even though we got the photo on the screen right now. I don't mind this way, but we want to do the hardest one from life. There's slight movements. Our slight movements. Okay. It's got to be darker already. So sharpening my pencil. Definitely have a hard edge on this wrist though. We'll get back up there. I also even made him too wide this way. Yeah, he should only be one head wide. You got a little big. So if this wasn't on newsprint, I would like correct. I wouldn't have drawn all those Riley shapes either. 'Cause they get stuck in the paper. This is also not smooth newsprint. This is just regular newsprint. It's a little bit harder. Oh yeah, we're gonna use cross contours, that's right. To work with. The smooth is a lot nicer. But I've got a whole drawer of this from Keith. That I need to use up. I'll widen this forearm a little bit. All right, what else? Yeah, that knee should be over here. So I've got to make this arm longer to compensate for that. So it looks more at an angle here. It's got longer. Don't tell anyone. Don't let them know. I mean, also, wait, let's get up there. So this is closer to the actual angle. So it might look really distorted to you, and then I'm saying things and you're like, no, it looks fine. It doesn't. Cast shadow under this hand. Oh yeah. Curls along the leg. This is the knuckle. Curls. I like to accentuate cast shadows. Accentuate the form. Because cast shadows describe the form in which they're falling upon, not the form that's casting them. Since you've already drawn them with a core, it's the cast that elevates something off the page. And often as the cast shadow gets further away from the object, although this hand is very small, it softens a little bit more. We don't have to worry about that here so much in this particular one. Back here is black, but I'm gonna leave it. Thumb. Fingernail. Phalanges, shadow. Length of the knuckle. Another shadow. It's not really drawing a finger at all. Maybe a little around this. I'm attempting to make the hand a little bit smaller as I go. Knuckle. And the cast shadow, which goes in the webbing, happens to the right of the belly button. So just finding a plum as I go. And then underneath it, a cast shadow. So the tip of the pencil. Yeah, hands are not drawing hands. Just like complex light pattern. So if I take a diagonal from these fingers, I'll see that this finger should be shorter. It's in alignment if I plumbed off the thumb. So just find other ways of looking at this stuff. Forget that you know it's a hand. You gotta, can't remember who told me, draw what you see, not what you know. You know, that could have been in the artist way or something, or drawing on the right side of the brain, I don't know. So long ago. So very long ago. I was actually, to show at the Stampede, they asked me for a bio, and then they said, a short bio. And I realized I haven't done a bio or updated it in forever. So I hate doing those a lot. But it's kind of nice to remind yourself the things that you've gone through and done. We didn't just, you know, arrive where we are magically. Time and effort. Oh my God, there's a little pinky light. and the rest is dark. So let's really make that lost. Give it a little mystery. Maybe draw a little hand under there. So even right now, it's like I'm a little bit mentally fatigued. I don't know if you experience this when you're drawing. It's like, oh, it's the work. It's the work now. The puzzle is less interesting to me all of a sudden. And it'll go through waves like every 20 minutes. One thing I noticed when I was instructing at the Alberta College of Art Design was that I could just watch the students' body language to tell their frustrations. And if I walked at the right speed around the class, it was about every 20 minutes. I'd circle around, or it would take me an hour to get around totally. So they'd hit 3 times in a class kind of thing. I mean, it depended on class size too. I'll just draw this vein in lightly. I mean, that looks like a lot of detail already, which is nice. Backing up off of your work, very important. We don't do that much in this, but in the actual live drawing that we host here, we will. Okay, we'll just add its back leg now. Jeez. If I went a little faster, I could have already had this done. I just want to add that little line I just noticed under his eyes. Okay, so the hand curls this way. Do this finger. Fold. What's also cool about hands is like it's straight on the top but curve lines underneath. So you have that already happening in the design of it. I'm kind of running out of things to talk about, guys. Cast shadow. That can describe that shape of the leg. We can lead the eye. Oh, it's my friend Bruce's birthday. I got invited out for beers with them, but I said, not if I am live streaming. Also, I don't really want to go out. It's not as open in my mind as some people might be thinking. My hope is that it's not then seen as a grievous error, all for the stampede. Please share your comments in the comment box below. All right. So we got to do a little research on Lydecker. I know some of his paintings. I don't really, you know, I got to figure out what is the perfect practice. What is the reason? Maybe Keith, you can enlighten me. Like, what are we hoping to get out of it? What is our best advantage? Is it the line structure? These illustrators, they're pretty tight. So this level of leg isn't long enough either, so I gotta fake it a little bit. It's dark, but it's softly turning at the edge, so just rub. But it's more of a cast to the back of the cast. Gastrocnemius. Paula sent me a recording to my text, thank you very much, on how she pronounces that. So I've only read the word. I've never heard the word. I took some figure drawing in school when I was at AU Arts, and they didn't really teach the kind of level that I'm doing now. There was no one there. They just were like, feel the line, splatter the paint, right? So we're playing catch up, all of us. There's no right way to learn this stuff. There's no specific order. You just pick up as much as you can as you go, right? And you find your weaknesses, and if you're smart, that's what you're going to work on. That's why I've been working on legs. But even now I made them too long. Make sure, you know, the eyes are not too high up. Whoa, this thing's right behind me. Okay, how's it looking? Let's make a lost edge right here. I'll move this up so you guys can see what I'm doing. Is there anyone still out there? With your top, lemon yellow sun, arms raised in a V, deadly pools of marine below. The Eddie Vedder, my roommate's least favorite singer of all time. Tendon. Jeez, I think his leg got a little too wide here. There we go. The ankles should probably be about the same size. Oh, Lord. Okay. Or make this foot a little bit longer. It's close to us. And since I grew some parts, gotta compensate a little bit. assuming we're still on YouTube here. Have you ever drawn an extra toe by accident? Get into some sort of rhythm. You don't notice. All right, pinky toe. There's a little bone right there. Oh yeah. It's gotta be a little higher up. Tendons. Hard edge here because we have the light and the dark. Malleolus there. Oh, the HVAC just shut off at C-Space. Uh-oh. Okay. Okay, now that I'm here, going to add that crosshatch to show more forms like Sabin Howard does. So I'm gonna get back. I'm gonna use my 4B, 2B. Uh-oh. I want to use a 4B Wolf's Carbon. It'll pick up some of what I got there, but make it a little bit darker. And I'm gonna need to look at Sabin's style again. So, okay. So basically, we want to add some more lines to some areas. And cross contour hatches. So I'm going over the sternocleidomastoid. The direction contour, like opposite the form. And that kind of leads the eye. So the traps go this way. So I'll add some trappiness. Why not? Maybe I'll even scoop up from the collarbone. So it's still like a sculptural knowledge. Oh, that looks nice. I like it. Let's just go into Mr. Ryan's face. I'm zooming in because I can. Oh, it's blurry. Okay, so he's got like across the forehead. So I'm going the direction of the, like my shadow shape came down, right? But my contour from the dark into the light goes across, like a wrinkle goes across. Let's get some stronger lines here. And maybe, do I have an eraser? I have like an eraser pencil somewhere. There it is. the under the lid I want lighter. So this is more illustration, right? It's 8. So, I mean, I have a whole hour, but I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to take it. No one's going to see this on Instagram. Like all this extra work I'm doing. Just you guys might. It's been a real joy being off social media. I would like to continue the vacation. I don't have the app on my phone, which I found has made a tremendous difference in my stress level. Or like distraction, you know? It's nice to share stuff, but I'm convinced I'm a creator, not a consumer. There we go. So you can use your artistic license for these lines. Let's give him one little bit of hair there. The Wolf's Carbon has a little bit, it's a thinner diameter pencil, and it has a little bit more wax in it, I think. I don't know what their secret ingredients are. And so it draws more pronounced lines, which is why I do them in this order. So it's easier to kind of sit the blacker down. I'll make his head a little wider too. Pull up some chin stuff. Pull across. His philtrum could be longer. And that makes his bottom lip bigger. Let's try it. How about we just leave it like that? C'est bon. Okay. So now we just kind of describe how we know the forms to be turning on the body. To lead the eye. Like the chest goes this way. This might be extreme, but we just lead the eye. Pretend it's money. Could even draw, like if we know where these muscles go, we could actually curling with the serratus. Gives it the illusion of a little more form. Should put this thing on here that I can't name on YouTube. see if I'm in your way. The meditation portion of the day. Hopefully you guys can hear, like I got a good enough mic, you can hear this. Okay, maybe I'm breaking my rules a little bit now. I'm just kind of making it up as I go. Rendering. Are we getting more benefits out of this? I don't know. Gotta take a step back here. Maybe re-intensify with the Pure Noir. It's a bit blacker. I got down to that 2B there, which is lighter, but it presses a little harder. I think I need to adjust more shadows in. But now with this idea of crosshatch a little bit. We'll use this one up. this collarbone. Well, guys, I'm gonna clean up. I don't think there's any purpose to keep going here. You know, you hit those, I could just render for days. Just clean it up. Maybe we'll add something for him to sit on. It looks funny when there's nothing to sit on, you know? He's just floating there. So, we could have him sit on structure or some sort of shadow shape. Maybe I'll just draw like a blind contour. So just a massive value down here. All right, I feel like this is signature worthy. June 16th, 2021. Calling her in. Finger got a little long, but you can see the picture. Wait, the side here. Maybe we'll go up onto the front-facing view. Ah! Oh my God. I totally accidentally closed down my picture. Wait, it's not even on yours. What? Where's the file? Oh my God. Apple Z. Are you kidding me? Well, looks like I just deleted my picture of Brian. Wait, what if I open this? File, export, desktop, PNG. Okay. Let's see if that worked. Oh. Nope. There it is. Saved. I did something and deleted it. But let's tilt the camera. Let's look. Let's talk. Oh, my butt's so sore. That wasn't even that long. Tilting. Tilting up now. Okay. Whoa. Okay. Don't knock the camera on the ground, buddy. Hey, there we are. There we are. There you are. And there's the drawing. I don't know what to say. Comment, like, subscribe. Oh yeah, those things. I think it looks okay. I made them too wide. Too wide in the shoulder, too wide in the leg. But I committed to the rendering. And I'm going to do some more drawing tonight. Hopefully your art is going well as well. And just remember some of what I said. Teapot emoji. Nope. Okay. There's all sorts of good stuff going on back here. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the views. Thanks for joining me. It's beautiful in the studio. The light is just breaking through and hitting my casts, which I love looking at. I think that's all I got to say for now. And join me again next week because we're going to do Lydecker studies. I'm going to say more than one because I'm much faster now and getting more accurate. And so I think maybe I could do like 4 on a page. We'll see what we find. And I'll do the same thing by putting the picture up in the top left for you. And then you can hopefully you draw along with me. And who knows, maybe I'll go off on some crazy rant or something fun like that. But until then, thank you for joining me. We'll see you next time. Ciao.